I want to share a brief story while our teens are here. And they're going to, they didn't know until about an hour ago is they're the key role in this story. And so we're going to invite our queen forward, please, and her servants. Due to our insurance policy, they are not allowed to carry the queen in the chair, but they will place the chair down so that the queen can, oh, you have to have a crown, queen. There's a story told that there was a queen. It was actually a king, but we're progressive, so it's a queen. The queen had 3 children. Will the 3 children stand up? You can see the biological resemblance. The queen had 3 children, and she didn't know who to pass the kingdom on to, and so she had a test. It's a test you all are going to take also. The test was this. She said, if you want to be the next monarch of this kingdom, you must fill this space entirely so that there is not 1 inch of this space that is not covered. And so the first child came forward, child number 1. That's what we call him, child number 1. And we couldn't do the whole room, so we're going to do this in, as an architect would do. We have a few architects with us. We're going to do this to scale, of a 1/100th scale is what we're doing. I'll hold this. So the first child decides that he will go outside and he will dig up as much dirt as he can and fill the room. Actually, Queen, you hold the room. Queen's going to hold the room. And without getting the queen dirty, he filled the entire room with dirt.
Don't spill.
But he moved faster than he's moving right now. Eventually, he poured the bag. He just didn't use the cup, and he poured the bag.
He's being so careful.
And it was full, mostly. Good. So the queen came to do her test. That has to go underneath. The queen came to do her test. And what do you think happened? Thank you. Wait, stand here, child 1. Stand here, child 1. The test is the room 100% full? And so the queen goes to open the door. Get the room. She opens the door conveniently over the bucket. And what happens? Hold up the room. Is the room full? No, so you failed the test, child 1. We're sorry. You do not get to be the king of Temple Israel. Child 2 came forward. And he says, I know what won't come out of the room. Straw. So the queen, here's your, you can have that room. And he, as quickly as his brother, filled the room with straw. All the way to the top. He was amazingly fast, having had much practice. And it was full. You can make it really full, because this one we can clean up easier. Brilliant. But then the queen went to open the door, because the room looked full, and when you open the door, the straw won't necessarily fall out, but she holds it. But it was very humid.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And as the humidity hit the straw became heavy. And the queen looked at the room and she said, hold it up. That only looks half full. I told them I would narrate the whole thing so they didn't have to remember any lines. So, child 2, unfortunately, you 2 will not inherit the kingdom. The third child came forward. Always the winner, the third child. because we don't have time in our stories for 4 children. The third child came forward, and the third child had the answer. And I'll tell you in advance that the third child became the future leader of the kingdom. The question is, how did the third child fill the room? With love. Oh, you're so good. With love. With love. Okay. Now they're very scared. They think that I'm going to make them hug. We're not going to do that. COVID. We're not allowed to do that. All right. What else? How do you fill a room? Concrete. It's true. It's very hard to do, but that would probably work. Laughter, close. I'll tell you that the thing that fills the room is something that is required for every sanctuary. So we'll show you how we fill the room by showing you that this room is always filled, even when the lights are out, with a light that is above us. And so, press the button. Thank you. Point it up. The third child simply took out a candle, in our case, our light that hangs from the ceiling. And the third child said, I can fill a room, and if you open the door, or if it's humid and you pour water on top of it, the light will still fill the room. And the queen was thrilled. Look how thrilled the queen is. Elated. And she gave the kingdom to child number 3, who she had yet to name. Yeah, you can give him the kingdom. Thank you. Beautiful. And you can have the throne as well. You can sit back down, queen. And so every 2 weeks ago, when we had our teens here from all over, our interfaith teen service, someone asked why we have this light. And there were many Jewish people sitting around them, and they didn't know the answer. So tonight I want to share the answer as to why we have what is called a Ner Tamid. A Ner Tamid is the one light that never goes out. Because in a sanctuary, in a safe space, in a place that is sacred to us, the room is never empty. In fact, it's always full. Because there's always a light that stays on. But just because it's full doesn't mean that we can't fill it with more. And so some of you have already started to get the idea that you can add light to a room that is already filled with light. And I share this tonight especially because often our students, especially our teenagers, you think that we ask you to come to nights like tonight or to do the teen program or to be part of our synagogue for your sake, because we want you to grow up to be great, ethical, good Jews, which is true. But the truth is, the brightest way that we often light up the rooms that we're in is when we bring youth into them. And so we have you here because we need you here. And often, you can say this back to your parents anytime, you help us to stay hopeful and optimistic and look towards a bright future. And you truly do, as cheesy as it is, so it is love in this way. As we look to your generation, we look to a room that we know will be filled, which is why we're so proud to have you here tonight. And so we invite all of you, if you would like, to turn your lights on, as you already have, and to shine them towards the ceiling, as we remember that even in our most sacred spaces where light is filling the space, as it always has, we invite those who bring the brightest lights to help us fill them also. May you let your lights shine always.